What to do, YouTube? The highly anticipated quarterback training camp positional battle 2019. I know this is like the biggest discrepancy over the course of the offseason and OTAs and minicamp. Who is going to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins in 2019? You look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, we end up signing him in free agency. Not a lot of people were happy about the signing, considering the quarterbacks that were still out there on the market, and due to Ryan Fitzpatrick's years in the NFL, literally been in the league for 15 years, and to be quite honest with you, only had one successful season. That was with the New York Jets. And now you have Josh Rosen. We ended up trading for Josh Rosen for a third-round pick in the 2019 draft. Last year he was a rookie, and numbers weren't exactly. People weren't exactly satisfied with his numbers, but 11 TDs, 14 interceptions, threw for over 2,000 yards, had a passer rating of 66.7. But the way people are thinking about this is the fact that, okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's basically winning the battle between the two in minicamp and OTAs. The same constant thing keeps coming up is the fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick has been in the league for 15 straight years. You would hope that Ryan Fitzpatrick would know the scheme. He's been in multiple schemes. He should know this scheme. he's been in the league for that long. Played for 12 teams if I'm not mistaken. 12 teams. But when I look back at Ryan Fitzpatrick's season last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, yes, the first 4 games of the season he lit it up with the Tampa Bay Bucks. But one thing that I seem to notice with Ryan Fitzpatrick is that he's a low. When the expectations are low on Ryan Fitzpatrick, he seems to ball. Now, I'm not gonna say per se just hand him the job, but when I look at it, I just don't see Ryan Fitzpatrick being successful with the Miami Dolphins for real. Like we know what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. Ryan Fitzpatrick is, I wouldn't say a backup, but he's like a tier over. He's probably like in that Matt Moore area, somewhere in that area where he's basically could go out and win a couple games for you, and then you can sit on down and call it a day. Like I've been thinking long and hard about this for quite some time now. Been looking at a lot of articles, and for once, I'm literally gonna sit back and agree with the beat writers on this one. Like, the Miami Dolphins are in a serious situation here, where if Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up winning the job, when does Josh Rosen end up playing? Like, yes, I know we ended up getting Josh Rosen for a cheap price, but we still have to see what Josh Rosen can bring to the table. And this day and age with rookie quarterbacks, you have to throw them into the fire. You literally have to throw them into the fire. And people are going to try and make that comparison with Ryan Tannehill and how he was thrown into the fire. Look, at the end of the day, when I look at Josh Rosen, but for the Arizona Cardinals, number one, they ended up firing their coach after the first year. Number two, outside of Larry Fitzgerald, who was he throwing the ball to? David Johnson didn't even have a successful season last year with the Arizona Cardinals. And number three, based off of what he had, I felt like he did a somewhat of a decent job compared to the other rookie quarterbacks that came into the league. I look at Josh Allen. I don't know what people see in Josh Allen last year that makes you think that he's a star, but to be quite honest with you, I'm not sold on him. Sam Darnold, he's a work in progress, but I felt like Josh Rosen played better than him based off of what he had to work with. And of course, Baker Mayfield was in a class of his own for the Cleveland Browns last year. So again, at this point, Josh Rosen already has a year under his belt. Just give it to him. Let him have. Well, I wouldn't say just give it to him. I'll probably say our bye week is probably week 5 or week 6 if I'm not mistaken. I'll go ahead and give Ryan Fitzpatrick the keys for at that particular time. But it's very questionable. It's very questionable. It all depends on how Ryan Fitzpatrick plays in the first 2-3 games of the season if he actually does start. Like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I feel like everybody should get a fair opportunity. But I look back at that season that he had with the New York Jets, and that where they actually went to the playoffs. That would be 2015, where basically they had a balanced system. They had a balanced offense for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, how I look at the Miami Dolphins, I'm sorry, like as far as the offensive line, yes, I have my high hopes on the offensive line, but again, we still have to know what Josh Rosen is. We have no choice, but that's why I'm saying, like, I gotta agree with the beat writers. Like, we're in a situation here where it's extremely difficult to evaluate who should be the starting quarterback. But you have Josh Rosen. We traded a 3rd round pick for Josh Rosen. We could have ended up using that pick for another player. Just throw him in there. I'll probably say after the bye week, and let's just go from there. To be quite honest with you, like, this is probably the most shaky decision I've probably had to make as far as making a Miami Dolphins video, because it's that big of an issue for me that Josh Rosen is a former 1st round pick, man. Former 1st round pick. And like I said, that comparison between Ryan Tannehill being thrown into the fire. Look, Ryan Tannehill was a project player coming out of the draft. That was stated as soon as the Miami Dolphins drafted him. He's a project player. You have a Josh Rosen who has 1 year under his belt. He is a actual quarterback. Not a receiver trying to play quarterback. No disrespect to my boy Tannehill, because I still love Ryan Tannehill. RT17, love him all day. But Josh Rosen is a quarterback. He knows how to play the position of quarterback. There's no grooming. There's still, well, obviously there's grooming, but like there is no that, like, I wouldn't say you had to mature into the position. He already knows how to play the position. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is GreatOne DeVore. I'm up out of here.